Hi, how you doing? Does anybody think I'm nuts yet? What does it take to show you that I'm not? Sit, don't sit, pick up a coffee from McDonald's. But if it's Al Van Hoot, am I still okay? Okay, let's begin with just this picture, just to start it off. This is going to try and be a fun session. You know, if you hold it like this, it's one big face, right? Adam and Eve at the beginning. Adam and Eve. They had to spade him. Look, he's a spade now. In French, it's a pick. We all know what picks can do to eggs. Picks stick their nose in an egg and they crack the egg unless they want to get the mother from the egg to crack her first. Anyways, we always see this card, the Ace of Spades, always with that picture on it. 808, heaven of creation of the middle correction world of the 8 worlds. It's actually 9, but one of them is a barrier on the outside skirts. But anyways, what I understand from this, okay, is the same thing I understand from this. Where's my cracked egg? You see those cracked eggs? Take a look at the kings, and all the kings wear that on their cufflinks. One of those are being worn, okay, by the Jack of Diamonds. Look at the King of Diamonds. He's waving his hand. You see, the king cannot show his face. He has a secret society. He calls it One World Order. Okay? Secret society with a C. Okay? Why secret society? Because he can't show the elements of outer space, the female, okay, and the male combined in one. Who he actually is. He's a mad scientist. And he's out there to discover space. He's a little bit more advanced than we are. In order for him to do this, he has to collect space. Now, he's only got 2 hands if he has one at all. And all we know he uses his mind. But there's only so much you can do with the mind, too. So what he has to do is find a way to cross time. Cross time, like that. What you want to do is you want to cross space, cutting off space, closing it, and creating time in it. Time that can be used by you. Time is only good as if you can use it. If you don't plan right, well, it was in the time, but you took the time of the time that wasn't any time at all because you wasted your time and you didn't use it well for all the words I just said. And I said nothing. Whoa. Nothing. Do you know what that first came from? No thing, thing. It's the egg. What's that thing? It was moving and cracking open. So nobody knew what that nothing was because it looked like an O. So the O's nothing, but it's the 15th letter in the alphabet. And if that one was an ace with a 5, it'd be 16. And if that was an ace, it'd be 17. And if that was an ace, it'd be 18. So 1 and 8, and if the 1 was an ace, it'd be 19. And if that ace and 9 were together, it'd be 20. 20th. Now watch what happens when I get to 21. The ace and the 10 together at the 21st. But when you first start off, I know I'm off track, you go 1 first. 11, TH. See, the TH starts at 4, and it ends at 20, 20th. Why does the TH end at 20th? Creation. THC, time, heaven, creation, transfer. THC. Why they don't want us to smoke it? They don't even know themselves. They just understand deep back in the mind. You see, we're programmed. Imagine you're playing Nintendo right now. It's basically like that. There's only so many places you can go. You can't leave the game, can you? Well, then why can we leave the game? They leave the game when it's over and they go sit in the little boxes you call the electronics. Anyways, was an 8 first before a 9, and what happened to the 8? Let me see if I can show you what an 8 looks like. There's an 8, and underneath is the 8 standing next to each other. It's 2 eggs. They're now 9. Okay? And what has to happen is you see the 5 and the 2 cycle where the 85 is? Well, that there is the eggs turning over. You see the 69 the way it is? That's when an egg is about ready to hatch. They're pulling apart the sperm in the egg. They're tightening it in. And kaboom! The Big Bang. Basically had a Big Bang happen, but it was pretty much bigger than that. 6 and 9. Male birth. You ever see what it looks like, your soulmate with you? You got this You got the little, let me just put these down here. You see that when you go to school, that little thing hanging down? Well, that's the spirit. So if you want to know where the spirit is, it's right next to your ear. And not only that, Yankee Doodle Dandy and my friend card. Where is my friend card? Not the diamond, not the diamond. How come I can't find it when I'm looking for it? Oh, I found one of them. Here. Yankee Doodle Dandy. He's got the leaf. Not to forget who he was. They were very smart. They said when they were in the Matrix and they were leaving the game, okay, in the Matrix, Andreas, she made sure she got into his little thing on his chest, onto Enzo's chest. Enzo, it's Eno. The Z's turn sideways. Stretch those Z's out. You see that cross line that goes across it? Stretch it out. Put a ball in the center. Call that center joint 51. Now you can spin both ends on the tic-tac-toe board or on the dice or on your keypad or telephone keypad on the right. It goes both in south, east, and northwest and southwest. Those are the cores. Those are the egg chillers, the things that turn your eggs over, and it runs the whole operation for the feeding. Aldous Huxley was not wrong, my friends. But anyways, I want to get back to something that I studied about 6 months ago. You know, I haven't really read a book in my life, but everything I see goes into my mind. What does my mind do? Well, you know what? I usually take interest with what I see. I usually make everything a little bit more than it actually is. Wow! Wow! W-O-W. 4661. God. That's why we say wow. It's the number 61 for God. It's his better number. The 16 is a soft number, the 1-6. But the 61, well, you know 1-6 is soft, and blackjack it's soft. Well, same for God. That's why he made it soft. He wants a hard 17. Okay? In all actuality, the winning hand is 18.2. But God's got him beat. Add the 4 suits. God's got 17 plus the 4 suits. Okay? So he's got 4 suits and 17. They're each worth a quarter to suits because there's 4 of them. So now you've got 18. Now you're behind the dealer by 0.2. Well, that's pretty simple. The diamond is half a suit. It's a leap year. So the other side of the stand that held up the 2 angels, the spade and the club, in which one turned into a heart and came down to the earth, and they pulled 1 feather off, okay, of the club to give it to Jack. Okay, they gave Jack one of those hearts off the club, and they pulled 1 off for the spade. But in all actuality, this spade was really the club. That's what he's left with. The 1-leaf clover that's missing on the club at the bottom. Anyways, yeah, I haven't read a book. You know what? But I've touched a lot of things, and I've been in the hospital, and my hands are falling apart. So whatever I touched, or I drove truck for 25 years, and I chopped wood, and I fixed, and I helped, and I massaged, and whatever you needed, I was there. Why? Because I can be. Nowadays, my mind is a little bit more occupied, as much as I'd like to, for those who are listening to this right now. Actually, no one is listening to this, therefore maybe later no one will listen to. So it'll all be for me. I do sometimes watch my own videos. I used to be shy about it. The first time I did it, about 8 or 9 months ago, I took a chance. I was hoping it wouldn't be contagious. You know, when you have a word to get across, contagious is the best thing to do. Continuous, contagious, containing, to contain the eggs, to contour, to surround the eggs, to count the eggs. Now, what I'm going to get back to is when I first started thinking about this and having these dreams, I came up with a date of 940. I didn't know what it meant, so what I did is I said, okay, there's 4 suits God has on hand for some reason or another, calling him maybe the floors in his hatchery. His home was the diamond suit, one of his floors was the club suit, one of his floors was the spade suit, and the other floor, well, guess what? We're on it! The hearts! Man of hearts! Man of war! Man of hearts! All the same thing, isn't it? Sure, so I came up with 940. And that had to do because the 4 was for the angel, and the 9 was for the birth, and 0 was for the home, because I couldn't give home a number. So I gave it 0 of Zion. So I got 940 years. So I go 2.5 times 940, and I come up with the time of 2350. Thus, the birth of Moses, or the death of Moses. But it had to be in a cycle, because he had to spend so much time in each room before he moved. So before he can make another move down here on this earth, he had to be in the right position. So therefore, you have to go the in-between years. I went 940, 940, 470. Is 235 years in between the numbers, and it must match, which means 235, take away the 0. You have 2, 3, and 5, which means you have 1 in creation, 2. 3 is the creation of, and the male was the rooster, or the father, or the sperm whale, whatever you want to call it. So then I figured the Father would have time for us, and then, lo and behold, Moses came out. Now we go 940 years after that, okay, and we add on 470 years, so 940 and 470. Let me try and match this. 940 and 4 is 1340. 1410, right. So exactly 1.5 cycles later, Moses came on 2.5 cycles, Jesus came on 1.5 cycles, and now, okay, now we're 2015. I'm working on 2015. So right now, if I'm 2015, it would be 2019 years, because Jesus was born 4 years before that 0 date, or however you want to work that. So, we got 2019 days, so we have 1800. What is the difference here? It's 139 days, okay, between the cycles, okay? We're supposed to be at 135, but as you saw for Jesus was 4 years early, this one will be 4 years later, because right now it would be the 1079, 2019, would be 2015 minus 940. Right, 139 between the cycles, and we were at 470, 235, then it would be 117 and a half, 22.5 years, which means D is life and 5 is the spirit angel, the male, the father of all fathers. So it's right now, from this time on until 2015, and not only that, he showed up on one of the wars, okay, between the Yom Kippur and the Rosh Hashanah. How did he show up? To stop the war. He doesn't always have to be here, don't forget. You have to appreciate him when he's not even here. It's when he's not even here that you appreciate him the most, and if you don't, oh my God, I'm sorry for you. Then I had another bunch of things I wanted to bring out. I'm going to jump from here to there. So, if you take a look at the jack, okay, the talit he wears around him, he shows his brothers, okay, these are his brothers. The numbers here are the brothers, okay, the yellow, the white, the yellow, the white, and then the eggs, okay, for his mother. You see all the eggs here? Those are all eggs. The king, you see what he wears? He's running the floors. That takes him up the elevator and down the elevator in the male hatchery. Okay? Because if you're not from the right hatchery, we don't want to get anybody infected. Wow. Not only that, but according to my figures, okay, on one of the surveys I did, okay, roosters to hens, okay, is about 1.25. So I went for 5 days, okay, because, 5 minutes, 5 days, but the movement on Earth for every 5 minutes is 0.25 degrees, okay, every minute. So in 5 minutes, it comes out to 1.25. So if I go 5.1.25, that's the short count in the Mayan calendar. And I can do the same thing with the long count, okay? Because if you go for 25 minutes, first it was 5 minutes, now I'm going 25 minutes, or just 25 and 25 minutes. The movement of our, either it's our universe or our Earth, it moves 0.25 degrees a minute. And then it adds up to 25, 625. I don't know if I can show you if it's going to make a difference. But that Mayan calendar, okay, is showing